Good morning. Good morning. How many of you know that plants have been medicine long before pharmacies ever existed? Okay? Plants have been medicine long before pharmacies ever existed. So today, let's talk about the power of herbal allies. That's going to be our topic for today. So herbs are gentle, powerful supporters of our healing journey. So I'm sure many of you have heard, try some herbs, or take this herb or take that herb. And that is because herbs are powerful. They don't suppress symptoms. They just support systems. And they support healing systems. Okay? You want to think of herbs as wise elders of the earth. Okay? So each herb has its own story and its own purpose. Okay? Now, herbs can be found at a herbal store. You can get herbs online. You can get herbs at a health food store. You can get herbs at the grocery store. Okay? So there's herbs all around us. And so today, I want to talk about 4 herbs. There's hundreds and thousands of herbs out here. But, I can't talk about them all here this morning, but I will talk about 4, okay? And the 4 that I'm going to talk about are what we would call beginner herbs. These are herbs that are easily accessible, to everyone. So now, the first herb, and when I say this herb, you're going to yeah, I heard of that before. It's called chamomile. Chamomile calms the nervous system, and it soothes digestion. It helps the gut. So now chamomile, again, as we mentioned earlier, you can get herbs at the grocery store. So if you go into your tea aisle at the grocery store, you will see chamomile. You'll see chamomile tea. And by drinking chamomile tea, this is going to kind of calm your nerves and help your indigestion or any kind of gut issues that you may be experiencing, particularly if it's after a meal. So that's number 1. Now, this number 2 beginning herb that you may want to try is calendula. Calendula. Now, that's a flower. Well, chamomile is a flower. Okay, so most of these that I'm talking about today are going to be flowers. So calendula is a healing herb, and it helps the skin. It's particularly good for the lymphatic system. It'll help your lymphatic system to flow better. And you can drink this in a tea, just like you do the chamomile. It can be drank in a tea. And you can find that at the grocery store as well. Now, the other thing about calendula is, I'll get it out in a minute. It's early in the morning, y'all. Okay, 7 a.m. here in Houston, Texas. Okay, so now calendula is also good for inflammation. Now, if your doctor has been telling you that you have inflammation and, you need to get rid of it, drinking calendula tea is going to be very helpful with that type of problem. Okay? It's a flower, as we mentioned earlier, and it also is a flower that has a lot of vitamins in it and minerals in it. Believe it or not, flowers do have minerals and vitamins in it. Now, the third herb I want to talk about this morning is called nettle. Nettle. Now, nettle sometimes is called stinging nettle. You may see it that way. So stinging nettle is filled with a lot of minerals. It is very mineral rich. That's what this herb is about. And it's really good if you feel like low energy. This is going to be helpful to help lift your energy levels in your body. So it's very supportive for bringing energy into your body. And the other thing nettle or stinging nettle is good for is for allergies. Now, you know, it's springtime everywhere, and a lot of people suffer from seasonal allergies. So having a stinging nettle tea will be very helpful for those who have seasonal allergies. And then one other thing that nettle tea is good for is arthritis. It's going to be really good for arthritis. If you have experienced any problems with joint pain, things like that, you definitely could benefit from drinking some nettle tea. Okay. And if you are a man, and I know that there are men who are watching my videos because I've gotten messages from them. So if you are a man, drinking nettle tea is going to be good for the prostate gland. Okay. So these three herbs are really powerful, and they're really good for people who are beginning to use herbs in their healing journey. And then the last herb that I want to talk about this morning is rose. R-O-S-E. Yep, like the flower rose. Okay. Rose as a herb and making a tea out of it, as we mentioned before, it is good for the heart. It is good for healing the heart. If you have issues with high blood pressure, rose tea is going to be a good thing for you. Okay? The other thing that rose tea does is it helps with balancing your emotions. So it's good for that. Like if you get stressed out, get you some rose tea. Okay? That's going to be really good for you. And roses are considered to be the highest vibrational plant. So if you want to like raise your vibration, you can drink rose tea or have roses around you. That'll help to build and increase your vibration. Okay? Good vibrations, okay? And rose tea is also good for weight loss. For those who are on a weight loss journey as part of your healing, then rose tea will be wonderful for that. So these are the 4 herbs that I recommend to get you started on your healing journey. Now, let me tell you a little bit about herbs. Now, herbs work best when we build a relationship with them. Okay, so what do I mean by that? You know, you want to treat herbs as a healer. You want to take your time when you make your tea. You want to take your time and sip your tea, knowing that this tea is healing for my body. So you want to build a relationship with tea. You want to sip it gently, sip it slowly. You know, you want to, as you make it, you want to smell it, smell the leaves, smell the flowers. You want to slow down when you're doing herbs. Now, that's not the only way, but it is the best way, okay? You want to slow down, and you want to let the medicine of the herb be sacred, okay? Now, as I end this video, I want to say this about herbs, so you don't get anxious about it or nervous about it. You do not need to know everything. No, you don't need to know everything to get started to becoming your own herbalist. All right? You just begin with one plant. Okay? So you want to ask yourself, ask your body, Which herbal ally is calling me right now? Okay? Ask your body, what herb do I need? And it will let you know. So maybe you'll pass it at the grocery store. Maybe somebody will mention it to you. That's going to be your herb. Okay? You want to listen to what your body's saying. What herb should I use for my body? Now, once you get that, you want to look it up, do some Google research, find out more about that herb and use it. Okay? The earth always provides for us. Just keep that in mind. The earth always provides for us. So I want to ask this question. If you already have a herb that you would consider to be your favorite herb, I want you to put that in the comments. What's your favorite herb? I use oregano a lot, and I use mint. When I was growing up in Arkansas, we grew mint in our backyard. It was like wildfire. Mint, I don't know if you ever had a mint garden, but mint was all over our backyard, just grew naturally. And we made mint tea from the mint. And as we walk around in the backyard, we could smell the aroma of the mint. So mint is really one of my favorites. So I'll use fresh mint. But most of the time, if I don't have fresh mint, I will just use the mint tea that you get at the grocery store. But mint is really good for the digestion. It's good for drinking a cup of mint tea after you eat. So mint is one of my go-to herbs, okay? For those that don't know me, my name is Sharon Fant. And I'm a registered nurse, and I have been working in healthcare in the medical field for over 38 years. I am also the founder of The Circle. The Circle, the Holistic Healing Circle. So I want to tell you a little bit about the Holistic Healing Circle. So it is a community of healers, self-healers, and those that want to know more about healing. Okay, that's who the circle is. So we heal, many of you know this, we heal in community. You cannot heal alone. And we don't recommend people trying to have a healing journey on their own. You need support of a community. So I want to invite you to become a member of our circle. So now, for those who are listening to me live, or you are watching the replay, you can catch me here every day, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. So tomorrow, we'll talk about something else. So see you tomorrow.